a simple choice. The dark or the light?
Is this at Starbucks? The roast choices?
No.
Oh.
After the ominous voiceover gives us a choice, we're treated to one of the most euphoric, nostalgic images in modern fantasy when we see the Millennium Falcon
Millennium?
doing a massive loop over what we assume is the Tatooine Desert, being on set by TIE fighters, and then John Williams' triumphant score blaring through our speakers to announce the latest chapter in the Star Wars series.
I must have missed that.
Watch the trailer, bro.
Oh, you mean the teaser trailer that came out that discloses absolutely zero to do with plot?
Mm-hmm.
Star Wars,
I like
The
that.
Force
though.
Awakens. We'll be talking about that.
There's a whole year left before the movie even comes out. I'm sure
Yep.
we're going to get
Yeah,
a number of
I'm
trailers.
sure we're going to get a lot of disappointments.
We're gonna break it down. The's a lot of controversy also.
Oh, is
We're
there?
gonna Take our. Oh yeah, we'll bring it
Was
up.
it the Black Stormtrooper controversy? Is that what
Nope.
you're talking about?
Why would that be a controversy?
It was.
Why
though.
got to be a black
That was-
stormtrooper?
That was a hashtag on Twitter.
Some design features. People are up
the
in arms about.
lightsaber.
Oh, that ridiculous cross hilt?
Sure.
The thing that would cut your hand off at the wrist?
Sure.
Sure.
Welcome to One for the Fans. I'm L.T.G. here with co-host Jay Brooks Peterson, aka P Train.
AKA what?
P Train.
That's right.
How
Hi.
you doing today, brother?
I'm fine.
Good.
Good.
We're also here with producer and
Hi.
weekly guest Justin Lane from JL Productions.
Yeah, it's actually Excitable Boy.
Yeah. How are you, sir?
I'm good. How are you?
Awesome.
You know, my Jets are looking good.
Yeah.
I got a lot to look forward to. Jets, Knicks, both looking strong.
It's a good,
yeah.
good year.
Good time to be a New Yorker, man.
That's right. Hey, there's always next year.
Yeah, there
Get
is
used to
always
that
next
saying.
year. Yeah, I am used to
Yeah,
that
I
saying.
think it's sunken in already.
Been saying that since '86.
We got a short
Well,
week.
'87 technically.
Short week this week.
Yeah,
Couple
not-
shows on
No, it
break.
was 7 days.
In terms of comic book shows.
Yeah.
Oh,
There wasn't a lot on.
But we had Flash, Constantine, and Gotham, I believe,
Yeah.
made an appearance.
what was Gotham on?
Yeah.
Was Gotham
Yeah.
about? Which one was the Gotham one? What was
It
the
was
Gotham?
called Lovecraft.
Yeah.
What was the storyline? I'm trying to remember if I watched it.
It was like they were trying to expose that guy who was like he sent the assassins after Bruce and Selena.
Yeah. And then
Oh,
the
yeah.
power struggle, more power positioning, I believe, with
Yeah,
the whole crime syndicate.
Falcone,
Right.
Maroni,
Right.
Fish.
That's really actually what the show was about. It was kind of just a giant positioning, just more positioning of what's going on.
It's like everything is coming to the fall finales or winter finales, whatever you want to call
Yeah.
it. But yeah, they're all going to be.
When did those start? When did that start being the
I don't know.
norm? It was. I think it's really, honestly, a result of, and maybe I'm wrong, but it seems like this fall finale thing is a result of networks really wanting to hedge their bets and having mid-season replacements ready.
That it's part that. It's also I think partly to do with the fact that not a lot of people are watching like original programming during the holiday season.
Yeah,
Sure.
There's more
Well,
Charlie Brown Christmases and stuff like that.
don't they realize the sad, lonely shut-ins that watch these shows
Yeah, I know, right?
are going to get more depressed at the holiday season?
More time for
I'm
speculation.
in withdrawal. Yeah, that too. And yeah, then there's going to be like, mid-season replacement-wise, there is going to be a few of those things. S.H.I.E.L.D. isn't going to be on again after this week's episode for probably, I don't know, until March maybe or something.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because Agent Carter replaces it
Interesting.
starting January 4th, I believe.
All right. Okay. Well,
That's why they've been giving us payoffs.
That's a
So
massive
that's
departure.
one nice thing I think about this mid-season finale thing is that they break it into two parts and you get a little bit more payoff
Yeah.
mid-season.
Yeah.
now we get like a bunch of flashback with Agent Carter, basically,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
which is cool. I actually
They did confirm in that recent episode too that the base they're working on was Peggy Carter's old base.
Yep.
No.
She had all those files.
Yeah, that's right,
Around and stuff.
So let's stick with
Yeah.
Gotham. What do you think of Alfred Pennyworth's
Oh, he was badass this week. He was nice. I like that.
his moment?
Yeah, I read someone talking about how he was like oddly sexually magnetic too.
Oh,
like he
God.
was.
Oh,
Yeah,
with Fish Theft scene.
yeah, that scene with
Rooney.
Fish. Yeah, he's kind of like sexy
Okay.
Alfred.
Mm.
Mm.
Mm. It was good.
Yeah, it was
I
alright.
remember it now, but like I didn't have a lot to say about it.
It wasn't very.
But it was
memorable.
good. It wasn't like, you
I thought
know,
there were
like
some-
sometimes I have a lot to say about Gotham because it's bad.
Yeah.
This was good, but it didn't really blow me away.
There was some weird stuff too. Like, why did the assassin chick like kind of ritualistically almost even cut that gardener open to put a little dab of blood on her head just to fake getting in a car accident? Like that seemed a little excessive.
It's because it's Gotham.
Yeah,
It's
I
on
guess
Fox.
it's just quirky.
Yeah. Give her an edge. Maybe it's
Yeah.
something the actress did and they just kept it in.
The title of the episode, Lovecraft, it was a double reference there. I mean, it's referring to the businessman guy who actually doesn't make it out of the episode alive. But it's
Spoiler
also,
alert.
It's
And
also
H.P. Lovecraft.
H.P. Lovecraft.
And of course, Arkham. The name
Yes,
Arkham is
it's
from
from
H.P.
H.P.
Lovecraft's
Lovecraft.
works. So
Yeah.
Yeah, they did a long like finish with that. Just
Yeah,
running outside the
Arkham,
gates.
When we come back, Jim Gordon will be a guard at Gotham, or at Arkham.
mm-hmm.
So, and I'm pretty sure he's going to be staying there for several episodes, so we get to see the inner workings of the asylum and get to meet a bunch of characters we already know.
Yeah, and I have a feeling it's going to enrage me like the beginning
yeah,
of the series.
yeah.
It's like, oh, we didn't get a chance to introduce Clayface or blah, blah, blah. Or this
Killer
and that.
Croc.
Yeah, Killer Croc.
You're
or-
totally going to see, probably.
You think they're gonna just start with them in?
Yeah,
Arkham
probably.
right off
Or
the
you'll
bat?
see them like get caught and then brought in, and you'll be. And there's also going to be like like Jeremiah Arkham or someone like that maybe, or maybe Dr. Hugo Strange, or even Harleen Quinzel. Like
Possible.
yeah.
Interesting.
You like that sound?
No, what is that?
It's my beard.
Ah,
Scritching it.
Quality.
Mm-hmm. This is good entertainment.
This is really is really.
It's a riveting,
We're on
riveting
fire.
pod.
Yeah.
Yeah, so anyway, Gotham, I didn't really have anything to say about it. I barely even remember it. It was good,
Yeah.
but
It was just like a draw out episode.
yeah. It was what it had to be.
Yeah. Nothing really stood out. More Batman training.
Oh yeah, there was a lot of Batman training
and
with
more Catwoman.
Yeah.
I remember.
Yeah, they've graduated from donut throwing.
Yeah, I don't remember in the comics the part where Catwoman was training Bruce Balance, but I'll have
That
to
doesn't
pick up
matter.
I know, I just have to pick up
That
some
doesn't matter.
episodes.
This is an entirely new universe. You have to stop falling back on the it's not in the comics,
Right.
therefore it shouldn't exist in.
And you know
Yeah.
what?
Yeah.
It may be in the comics. Who knows at this point?
Yeah, there's probably an Elseworld story. That
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
I
yeah, it was
don't
all
know.
right. I don't know. I got not much to say about it.
Think it's strange the thing where Catwoman keeps offering to kiss her.
Yeah,
I don't think that. I think that's more in line with
With
the
her,
relationship from the books than anything.
Even though they're like 12, 13.
The girls mature very quickly.
Oh.
Yeah.
I was making out with chicks when I
that's
was
her
12.
thing too. Like she uses her wiles.
All right. And that's pretty much it then. Those are some of the highlights.
Yeah, boy.
Yeah.
Tune into Fox Mondays.
Yeah.
See what happens.
The assassin lady had some weird kind of like snake kind of performance going on. I kind of got to like, especially when there was that one scene where she was on the stairs, like could hear like in the background kind of like a rattle sound effect or something. I don't know what that was about, but it might have just been
Any ideas about who they might be?
No, I don't know. I was thinking that was strange though. That maybe she's someone I just don't know who.
By the way, something occurred to me. The very pilot episode, the pilot episode. It's a very pilot episode. That may not have been Poison Ivy, even though it was a little girl they
Ivy
called
Pepper.
Ivy because Poison Ivy's name is an Ivy.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
So maybe
But I
we.
mean, it's almost entirely been confirmed by the producers.
But maybe
that
they
she-
can introduce
that she-
another Poison Ivy. Is what
Yeah.
I'm saying.
I don't think so. They've already pretty much said in interviews that she grows up to be Poison Ivy. So.
I thought she was Solomon Grundy. So
Wasn't born on a Monday.
no. Well, we
She
don't
was
know.
good in this episode. Actually, she was in that episode too.
Yeah.
She was like super, like weird and creepy, and even Catwoman was scared of her.
Yeah.
Kind of.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. All right. Well, So a giant filler episode for Gotham.
Yeah.
Which is strange, seeing as it's the halfway point of the season. You would think something bigger would happen. It was kind of a letdown. Just the
Speaking of big things
Gordon
happening.
going to Gotham or going to Arkham.
Speaking of big things happening, it would appear that the network executives are exercising the Exorcist show, Adios Constantine.
Yeah,
That's what it would appear.
Yeah, 13. They're going to cut off at 13 episodes.
Yeah.
Well, they were going to do that anyways.
But they haven't ordered additional episodes.
Yeah,
You know, it's doesn't look good for John Constantine there.
Yeah.
Excuse me. And I got to say, I'm not broken up about it.
Yeah.
No.
You know.
Yeah, we won't know. We'll see. There's internal rumors that it's not canceled. It's just been shortened production. But, who knows?
Was there anything in the episode that stood out that you liked?
Again,
That
not
made you
very
interested this week?
I mean, I don't know. I also read that this episode was supposed to be episode 2, which is always weird to me when TV shows do the whole rearranging the order of episodes thing. It just doesn't help. At least in this one, there was no glaring. It didn't seem like what is wrong.
I don't know. Just sometimes you just feel like you're gonna laugh and you're holding it in and it just comes out. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
that's the nature of Constantine. You just kind of lose focus.
There was no glaring way you could have caught that it was the second episode. Yeah. But every once in a while you'll be watching a show that's airing out of order, and things happen that are referring to things you haven't seen yet, and then a week later you'll see that event happen on the show.
So do you guys think Constantine is done or not?
I don't know what to think, because it's most likely done. The only thing is that we'll probably not know until
right
the next season is announced.
What I think what'll happen is they'll run something else, and then if that's a hit, then Constantine's done.
Yeah. But NBC doesn't really have a lot of potentially good programming on their horizon. It's not like that show's going to come out of nowhere. Yeah. So I think they're going to end up finding out, in the back half of the season here, that they don't really have anything else to air in that slot, and nothing that is going to fit as well as Constantine does with Grimm. So
yeah, I'd say last week, I think when we talked about last week's episode, the Spectre was kind of the highlight. That's what I got from you guys.
But airing episodes out of order is never a good sign.
Never a good idea.
No, it's never a good sign either.
Know that.
I'd be surprised if they continue it.
It's an expensive show, relatively, and all the advertising for it smacks of, this is the show that's a huge hit. Like, they're telling you it's a big hit.
Yeah.
Which is also not a good sign. It's like when you see a movie preview and instead of showing reviews, they show the people in the audience.
Yeah.
It's scared of Paranormal Activity and stuff like that.
Hot new drama.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't know. I think it might be gone.
Yeah, I know they're trying to get to, the main heart of the plot, and they're going to take you episode through episode and finally get there, but I'm really just not interested at this point.
The whole Newcastle 5 stuff was a big focus of this episode.
Yeah.
And if this was aired second, that would have gone, a long way to
building up background and
for the character.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, other than that, not a lot happened in this episode. It was more of a kind of atmospheric episode to me than anything else.
More playing on Constantine's failures,
his failures,
fears.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a lot of stuff where he was scared, which was something we haven't really seen from him.
Yeah, it was like a Little Rascals episode. Yeah.
kind of. Yeah, but I don't know. We will see.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be heartbroken if it's gone.
No, I wouldn't
but
either.
At the same time, I think would be a shame. Too.
It's a shame for the genre,
Yeah.
and it's a shame for the people that obviously put in the hard work on the show. But
Because, like you said, Justin, the comic is excellent.
the Hellblazer is one of my favorite comics. I mean,
it's something that doesn't really lend itself to network TV.
No,
adaptation very well.
Constantine should have been on HBO or Showtime.
Yeah.
I agree. That would have been cool.
Or it could have been on Stars, but then it would have been canceled as well. But no, it should have been on one of those networks. It's a much better, or even FX.
Yeah.
A much better cable or premium cable fit.
Yeah, you see what they do with like the strain and stuff
Yeah,
like that. Too.
But it just doesn't. It just doesn't have. I've been impressed actually with how far they've gone with it being on NBC.
Yeah, I was too, especially in like the pilot.
But also look at its time slot. Look where they put it.
Yeah.
It's TV graveyard.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think they ever really had high hopes for it. So.
No.
Hold on, I think the Blackhawks are flying overhead. They wanna hit.
There's a supply drop coming in.
That's
Use
right.
the Iliad.
Yeah. So.
Anything
that's
else you guys want to talk about with Constantine?
No.
No, I mean, we're kind of in a.
It might be canceled.
Well, we're in a holding pattern right now to
Yeah.
find out what's happening with it.
I think it's also taken like way too long for us to figure out what the sorry.
Well, that's okay.
It's okay.
What the deal with Manny, the angel guy, is.
That character was ill-conceived from the very beginning.
he's like
it's almost
so-
like they
yeah.
got that character from another script and
Really?
just put it
Right?
in there.
Yeah.
Oh, whoops.
Yeah.
Okay, I can't talk more on that yet.
No. But yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to say earlier. They have some interesting things they want to get to. I'm just not sure I'm feeling the ride to get there.
Yeah.
It seems like they're drawing it out, and then they're going to hit you at the very end. And it's like...
Yeah.
Yeah, no one cares.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And
I mean, I think
the
that's the issue.
producers look like they don't care, so...
Yeah.
Yeah. And, there might be no way to save the poor blighter. That's all I have to say about it.
Oh, boy.
Ay.
Let's go to Flash.
Okay, now, there we go. Now we can talk. Flash.
Yeah.
2 villains this week, which
Yep.
I don't think have they done that yet? I don't think so.
Yeah, I think they have.
they?
Are you referring to the fact that they used Girder to... Was that what you're talking about?
No. Well, that they did in that.
Well, Captain Boomerang shows up.
But I mean,
in
they
Arrow, but
had
that's
they
Arrow.
had Blackout and Clock King.
Oh,
in the
right.
same
Yeah,
episode.
right.
Who was the...
Talkman.
On the episode where Felicity comes, who was the assassin they had in that? And didn't he meet up with another assassin at the end?
Oh, at the end, yeah, but we haven't seen him ever on screen or anything.
Oh,
like that.
okay.
That was Captain Cold and Heatwave.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, that's the Rogues, them building up the Rogues. It's going to take a while, I would assume.
Yeah,
But
they're coming back.
Impressed that they killed Girder, if he's dead, but, impressed that they killed him. I like that.
Yeah.
Instead of
There's
just
like,
a perpetual prison thing.
We were
going
talking earlier about how they showed the Mist very briefly.
Yeah.
And he's like the only alive inmate that they have in
Yeah.
their facility now.
Yeah.
I wonder if they put Girder's dead body in a prison cell like they did Blackouts.
Possibly.
Yeah, I'm sure that there's scientific research to be done via autopsy, and they're obviously not caring about anyone's civil liberties.
No.
Or rights, just throwing them in these prisons. So as far as the also these people were presumed dead already.
Yes.
So there you go. So I'm sure Girder's being cut up on a slab.
Yeah.
I wonder what his little sister Ileana thinks. Oh wait, sorry.
No.
Sorry. Whoops.
It's a different guy.
P-Train, let's start with you. What stood out? What was the biggest, geekiest moment
Oh,
for you?
well, of course, it's the list of people at the end of the episode.
Oh, yeah.
Harrison Wells is running down all the people that have died as a result of the Star Wars. The Star
Super
Labs
Collider.
Super Collider explosion. He mentions, he just lists off a whole bunch
Dibney.
of names. Yeah, Ralph Dibney.
Which is the elongated man.
There were a bunch of other ones. Al Rothstein, who is Atom Smasher.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Everett. Is it Garrett Everett or Graham Everett?
Yeah.
Who's Damage.
Yeah.
So a lot of characters related to
and another
the Golden Age Addams family,
and another Ronnie Raymond
mentioned, yeah, and those two randos from the beginning,
Right.
So yeah,
who you thought
I really thought that the guy with the dreads was going to be
might
Static Shock.
That would have been awesome. And
I mean,
it's perfect because the guy that they ended up having in the episode
Yeah.
was a
Yeah.
electricity based character, anyways.
Yeah.
Well, don't forget too, that guy ended up electrocuting his friends,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, yeah.
So who knows?
Oh yeah. Huh.
Yeah, maybe he is Static Shock.
Yeah.
I doubt it,
Yeah.
but that would be cool. I would have much rather had a Static Shock episode than.
Well,
Blackout.
they've got options. I mean, they've got a lot of options.
But then we also had Robert Knepler in this episode playing William Tuchman, the Clock King,
Oh yeah.
who I thought he did a great job, and he's just a great character too.
Yeah.
The moment the elevator opened on him, I was like,
Yeah.
"Oh, Clock King!"
Yeah.
Actually, I was watching it and I just went out loud, "Talkman."
And didn't he get like injured in his leg or something too? So now there's a reason for him
Yeah.
to have the cane
Mhm.
as well.
So it looks like the show does a great job when they introduce iconic villains from the comic books. They're easily identifiable. It's
Yeah.
like it's not like is that who I think it is. It's like
And
like
of
you said, you knew
building
exactly
those
who it was.
those little things about building the affectations into
Yeah.
the character
Yeah.
too, like with the hurting his leg, so he's gonna have the cane,
Mhm.
and like in the Captain Cold episode, how they bit by bit got his look
Yeah.
together
Mhm.
with the goggles and
Yeah.
the parka, and by the end of the episode, he's gone from just some random criminal to Captain Cold,
Right.
super villain.
Yeah.
That stuff's good.
Yeah, that's what I'm getting from Flash. They're like, it's a lot of their own style, but they're doing a lot of heavy comic book.
Mhm.
You know.
Well, you can't do Flash without doing a comic booky.
Yeah. Just
So they've
because-
got to go that way. You know, I mean, it style wise, it has to be that.
Yeah. He's by far like one of the most comic booky heroes in the DC universe.
Mm-hmm.
We get treated with maybe perhaps a little bit of the Speed Force and Barry
yeah.
Allen tapping into it.
Yeah, and using it to overload the villain as well.
Yeah.
Thought that was cool because they figured out that it was kind of like Dumbo's feather, like when he loses his power for most of the episode. It's the same kind of like Spider-Man No More
Mm-hmm.
story where it's like he it's not gone. It's just you've doubted yourself. Or
I
whatever.
loved Cisco
Well,
referring to it as the yips.
Yeah.
yeah.
As a
yeah.
golfer, I really appreciated that.
Wow.
No, I thought that was really great. Anything else stand out to you?
I don't know. There was a
Because what I took away from it was Harrison Wells.
yeah.
Yeah.
And the-
speculation time.
The end scene too was when he's talking to his newly introduced AI computer named Gideon.
Gideon,
with
yeah.
the chick's voice. So there's something going on there that it's gonna take frigging maybe all season for us to find out
Good, because
what it is.
here's one thing. I'm going to say this to an open letter to the writers and the showrunners of The Flash. If your plan is to have Harrison Wells, Tom Cavanaugh, be the big bad of this season, don't do it. Because the actor is awesome, and keep him around for as long as you can. Because he's great.
Yeah, and if he is like I was saying too, if he is going to be a villain, and it seems like he strays into villainous territory, make him one of those villains that is kind of a good guy. Too.
Yeah.
Because that seems like that's as much as we don't know about the character so far, the stuff that's great is that it seems his motivations are at least partially about protecting Barry and kind of treating him as a kind of as like a surrogate son or something.
Yeah.
Which is also what Joe is in the story too. So it's an interesting parallel.
Yeah, I still think that Eddie is Zoom.
Yeah.
And I think they're
still all
intentionally writing away from that to mislead us.
Yeah. There's also a consideration that I always talk about too. There are two Reverse Flashes in the comics.
Right.
So it could be that.
Do you think they'd really confuse a TV audience though with two Reverse Flashes?
I don't know.
Interesting.
There's also a lot of people who think that Wells is the Reverse Flash.
I did. At the beginning.
Have said that it's possible that the naming of Edward Thawne is just the mislead.
Right, sure.
And that he's just an ancestor.
Mm-hmm.
And they've done things recently to make you think that Wells is the Reverse Flash.
Oh, yeah, they've done so much. Yeah.
So more misleading.
And also, like, when we were talking about the last episode as well, on the previous podcast, the fact that every single stinger or coda scene so far has involved Wells,
Mm-hmm.
and then last week's just had Reverse Flash and Joe West in it. So it's kind of tacitly implying that Wells is the Reverse Flash. He's been in every single stinger so far. So if he was the Reverse Flash, then he still would have been in every one.
And then going off of what you said, Justin, last week about your revelation that you might think he's a new god, Wells.
No, I didn't say that. That was P-Train.
You agreed.
The other Justin.
Yeah,
I thought it was.
Metro.
I'd never heard it, and I thought that was super cool.
Sorry.
Especially because he's already has the Mobius chair.
Yeah,
kind
and
of.
the little
Which would
like,
be awesome if they revealed that the wheelchair was the Mobius chair
Yeah.
the whole time.
Yeah.
like the little computer lab area, whatever.
And just as like
I actually threw out there that he reminds me more of like a Brainiac 5 kind of character.
Which would be cool.
It's
too.
interesting too.
He's
But I don't think
another
they can-
future-based
Yeah,
character.
but I don't think they can use a Superman
Oh, really?
character. Can they?
I don't know, but yeah, I don't know. Brainiac 13, I think we're talking about, right?
Yeah, that's yeah.
He's more of a. I mean,
He was
is a super-
Legion. He was
is a
Legion of
he's Legion,
superheroes.
yeah.
Yo, when are they gonna rock out the Blue Devil?
Oh, dude, they had another in the Flash.
Another Blue
There's
Devil?
another Blue Devil poster. In
Oh,
the
no
background.
kidding.
Yeah,
Probably
Yeah.
use them.
Oh boy.
yeah.
No, it's just when Wells is giving his diary into the computer, and the whole thing, his revelation Barry, that he doesn't really care about humans. He's just focused on Barry. It gives him that feeling that he is a god.
That he's more than just.
And
a
he's
human.
just focused on Flash. He doesn't give.
And he's like a
to-
time cop or something.
He doesn't really care about the rest of humanity. He's just present. He wants Flash to make it to the future for whatever he has planned, whatever event that's going to happen. So,
But he also doesn't really seem to know. In this episode, especially when he's giving that speech at the end, he doesn't seem to know the series of events that leads Barry to become the person he needs him to become.
Yeah.
Because he admits that
So
keeping
he's not-
him from the people he cares about was a mistake.
Yeah.
And that he
Which is
needs
here.
to
See, here's my thing: is I don't think he necessarily is from the future.
that's
That's a
what I was
good
just
point.
gonna
Maybe
say.
he's just using
because he uses
technology.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he uses the computer to look into and say,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe he's found. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
really
it
It
know.
seems clear in that episode that he does not know, he wasn't there, so he has to find out, does Barry Allen, is he around in this
Yeah.
timeline?
And what are the steps I have to take to make him the man he needs to
Mhm.
become? That's an interesting idea.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Yeah, I mean, I enjoy it. I enjoy the Flash. I think it's great. Blackout, it was all right. you know.
He's not one of the
But
better,
it wasn't-
better villains.
but I
It's
don't-
cool. The effects are cool.
Yeah, but I don't think it was even really about Blackout. I think it was
No.
about what the Blackout situation revealed.
Yeah, totally.
Did we get a new power stunt?
I don't remember.
I would just say the
Speed Force
Yeah.
being
Just Barry having to tap into it.
Yeah.
yeah, and the fact that he can't be cut off from it. That
Yeah.
it's
It's a permanent part of his DNA now. Yeah.
Now maybe you guys can shed some light on this because I'm not familiar. When he's asked the computer and he looks at the newspaper in the future,
Yeah.
what is the red skies kind of theme? He's
Oh, the Final Crisis thing, the
it says something
Flashpoint
about
thing.
red skies, and then the first time they look at it and Barry's not in the future, it says red skies, and then when he
I
is in
didn't
the
catch
future,
that.
it says red skies ends, and then
Huh.
just as you said, it says infinite crisis.
Oh, is the headline changing?
It totally changed.
Huh.
From the
That's
It
interesting. I
changed
didn't catch
when
that.
Flash disappeared.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
No, I know. I saw. Yeah. You're right.
Yeah.
That's interesting. No, I didn't. I haven't thought of that.
But I don't know what the red skies reference was.
No,
I don't
I'll
know
have
if
to
that
look
was a
into
comic
it.
reference. Okay.
No, I don't know either.
But we
When I-
do know that what
So
Infinite
if anybody
Crisis is.
that's listening that does know,
Red
yeah,
Skies to
no.
me smacks of a Superman
Yeah, it
related
sounds like a
thing.
Superman thing.
You know,
So they introduced
or
the-
Simon Williams Wonder Man, because as you
No.
know, when he dissipated, and the Kree blast and the skies were red for a while.
okay.
You remember that?
Yeah.
That's a different universe.
Yeah, it could be a crossover. I mean,
Yeah, maybe they're gonna do a Simon Williams Wonder Man crossover.
So they make mention of Infinite Crisis in the future.
Yeah,
So that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Did it say Infinite Crisis? Or
Yeah,
just okay.
I believe it did.
yeah. No, it was a cool episode. I liked everything about it. One thing was a little weak. Was the whole what was that?
Nothing.
One thing that I thought was a little weak was the whole Caitlin Snow. Is it Caitlin Snow,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Why do I always get that messed up? Oh, so Caitlin Snow and like, well, I do believe in blah, 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 and this and that and everything. I didn't need that melodrama.
Yeah.
I didn't need that. But I understand the actors need their moments, whatever. But didn't really add or give anything.
Yeah,
it was just a little hokey.
It seems
it's
that Wells
pushing.
could have done that.
Yeah,
That
but I think it is to give her a moment to push her into, like, we know Firestorm is coming,
Right.
Yeah.
and so we need to get her to a specific place where she's, kind of down,
Right.
and so that when
So-
Ronnie comes back, there'll be,
And do you think that's going to push her into becoming Killer Frost?
I don't know. I think maybe having Ronnie back and then realizing that he's not totally Ronnie
Yeah.
anymore
Mm-hmm.
is maybe what's gonna push her a little bit further away,
Interesting.
closer to
And of course,
Killer Frost.
next week
Still
we
has to-
have the Flash Green Arrow crossover.
This
Yeah.
week.
Yeah.
Well,
Or the new show.
it's
Yeah,
happening.
this week.
Yeah, and it would appear that
Couple days.
Flash is a little out of control and Arrow has to take him down.
So this looks like it's gonna be really fun. This is gonna be a real fun episode coming up.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
2-part episode. It'll be
Yeah,
fun.
it's both episodes.
That's great.
It spans. I think Flash airs before Arrow,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So I think what you're going to have is they're going to train, and Flash is going to, amaze and best Oliver, and then Flash goes a little nuts, and then Oliver takes him down.
Yeah.
I think that's what we're looking at.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, it does seem like, even though you would think Barry has all of the advantage here, this is still like Arrow's universe.
Yeah, and it's
Yeah.
also still the powers are new to him. Still,
Yeah, yeah.
So.
Yeah, Oliver's had 3 seasons now to train, and
So we're all like both.
he's
sides
gonna
be-
end up Batmaning
Yeah.
Barry,
Yeah.
basically.
Both sides gonna be at each other. So we got like
Oh,
Team
yeah,
Arrow
2
with
teams,
Felicity
2
and
teams.
Diggle and
Yeah.
Deagle?
Arsenal, and then Flash with Wells. And,
birthday.
that's gonna be interesting.
Oh, no.
Smeagol and Deagle.
Yeah,
Darth
Darth Smeagol.
Do you think? What the heck was that? Oh, it's a pen cap fell. What was I gonna say? Now that was so that crashing sound. Arrow, Flash. Oh, ready?
Oh.
So it starts out like
Oh.
as a bet between the two of them, sort of humorous. Is what it looks like from what we've seen.
Oh,
right?
okay, yeah.
He's
their
like,
fight.
who do you think would win?
Yeah.
This and that. Quick. If it is what we think, which is Ollie takes him out, Batman's him, as you said. How's he do it?
How does he do it? That's a good question, right?
I would say he relies on his team.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
think he does it alone. It's not going to be like a one-on-one. I think he definitely relies on his team.
It could have something that, like, Felicity might be able to come
Impact
up with
foam
something.
arrow.
Yeah, impact foam arrow is
And
the
maybe if what you say
Because he
is-
hasn't leveled up to the point where he can vibrate
Yeah,
to get
yeah.
through it.
And maybe what you say, if he goes crazy, maybe both teams work together
To stop
figure out how to
Barry.
take
Yeah.
him down.
Yeah, so maybe then
Yeah.
Wells becomes... Because Wells did take that little thing,
Yeah,
that sample
that's
at
right.
the end of the
Maybe he
episode
gives that to
to
Ollie.
Ollie and
Yeah.
lets
Yeah.
him use it on him.
or he actually gives Ollie a temporary super speed.
Oh, that could
That
work
could
too.
be interesting
cool.
too. Now, did you notice the little? It was I think in this week where it was like our computers are fastest, blah 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 blah.
Oh,
Well,
yeah.
At least since Felicity upgraded them.
Yeah.
You know,
It's cute.
my one real concern for both those shows is I feel like we're losing Diggle, who is a character I've always really liked.
Yeah, he's kind of becoming more father and yeah.
Well, he's not
And
really
he's
in it.
Well, he doesn't really have any powers.
Yeah.
And he's
He's
in this
you know who he
new-
is?
in this
He's
new era.
Xander
Yeah.
from Buffy.
yeah,
he's
he's
Xander.
but nowhere near as funny.
Yeah, because Felicity is.
But yeah, he's like that
Willow.
one guy. Yeah,
right?
it's like what Cordelia says to Xander in the Zeppo when it's like your friends are all like
Yeah,
super powered and everything, and here you are.
but then of course there was
Yeah.
the great line that Caleb says to him, "You're the one who sees
Sees. Oh,
everything."
it's you, yeah.
and then takes out his
Yeah.
eye. Anyway, sorry that we just. I don't know if you're familiar with
straight
that.
into
That
a big
wicked
Buffyverse
Nerdington-
conversation.
Big Nerdington crescent.
That's what we're all about.
Yeah. No, but I'm excited about it. Flash was good.
Yeah, I enjoyed every week.
Yeah, I think
I'm totally caught up on it, and it like I've said before, I've read a handful of Flash comic books, so
I think
for me,
really
this is all great.
the multiple man episode is the only one I didn't really care about. You
Yeah.
know, that was the only one that was like weak to me.
Yeah.
There's still really good parts of that episode.
Oh, of course, no, I know, but compared to everything else.
Yeah.
So now, did we have Shield?
No.
There was no Shield.
There was no
But
Shield.
The
No Arrow, no
fall
Shield.
finale is coming in a couple days.
So the Melinda May versus Melinda
Yeah,
May
yeah.
face,
Agent
May
33.
face and versus May is.
So there's one more, then they take a major break.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
And this one looks like it's all about the race to find the city or whatever,
Mhm.
the temple.
Mhm.
Which we speculated on.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe we'll get an answer.
Yeah.
I hope so.
Mm.
Well, we'll be here to
And-
fill
and
you all
If we
in
do
on
get
that.
an answer, it'll just lead to more questions.
Big news though. Patton Oswalt back for this episode.
Yep, that's
Will they kill him again?
I don't know, but they also
Or
have
would they reveal that he wasn't dead,
on
or
their
they brought
social
him back?
media and stuff. They have been hinting that it might not be the same Kanan coming back,
What do you mean?
which is always like that. It might
Oh,
be
so there's gonna
another
be,
one
like,
of the brothers.
okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So yeah,
Interesting.
a lot of really cool moments happening in the shows coming up.
Mhm.
Anything else to wrap up of comic book talk on the shows this week?
No, I mean I'm
I heard
ready
they're
to-
developing a Suicide Squad movie.
movie.
Yeah, I don't think it's based on the.
So once again,
Arrowverse
they're
Suicide Squad, but yeah, I
Wow.
heard something about that this week.
wow. What can you do? I mean, there's movie talk. I mean, if we want to get into things that are being developed, there's a lot of stuff in Marvel. There's
Yeah.
a whole bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know, but I don't think anything's really ready to
No,
on the boil.
It's all
you
just
know.
theoretical right now, except for.
It's one thing I will say though. It is kind of interesting how for a while it seemed like the indie comics found it was easier to get those made as movies and things, and now, it's all the big two.
Yeah.
So it's like the
And
small
it's
market
become
share.
Disney versus Warner Brothers,
Yeah.
basically
Yeah.
at this point.
Yeah.
I'm good on talking about the shows. I do
Yeah,
want to
me
talk
too.
about Star Wars.
Are you ready to get geeky?
Yeah.
Yeah, I do. I want to talk about
yeah,
Star
yeah.
Wars.
Of course.
And I think we should also talk about the incredible George Lucas edition
Oh, the parody trailer.
trailer, because that is
Yeah.
brilliant.
Let's start with you. Let's tell what you liked, what you didn't like.
Okay, what I liked is that there's a Star Wars movie coming out that's not being directed by George Lucas.
That's
Number one, that's what I like.
All right.
However, I'm not the biggest J.J. Abrams apologist. You know
Okay.
what I mean? Like okay, he's good, but there's been things that, I thought it looked cool. I thought there was a little bit too much of a nod to the cutesy stuff from the prequel movies,
Yeah.
like that rolling droid thing.
Yeah.
But I also like the fact that you saw the shot of the woman on the on that very square land speeder
Yeah.
thing,
Yeah.
and that reminded me of the
old
first
school.
movies.
Right.
Yeah, that
Totally, yeah.
reminded that was cool.
I liked because they didn't really show a lot of the old actors. Like, in fact, they didn't show them at all.
No, they haven't shown them.
They're
But
saving
there was a blatant kind of choice made to show the young ones,
Yeah.
Mhm.
to show John Boyega and to show Daisy,
Gesundheit.
whatever her name is, and because that's what the focus is going to be on. I think.
Yeah, it's going to be a passing the torch movie,
Yeah.
don't you think?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hope they don't do the thing where they like very heavy-handedly kill off the old guard in the first movie. But
Yeah.
back to what I liked. So those are the things I liked. What I did not like was, I'm sorry, that lightsaber was the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen.
That seems to be the biggest
Okay.
point of contention.
I
so
just
far.
remember being like, "What? You cut your you can't? How could you use that? You'd cut your hand off. It
Yeah.
makes no sense." It's just one of those things where it's like, what would be cool? It's very much the early Image comic books mentality of give 'em more chains.
Yeah.
It was just it was lame.
It does seem like a thing you would have thought about earlier, though, because just aesthetically it looks like a broadsword
Right.
Mm-hmm.
instead of a saber, And yeah, it's just one of those things that you would think we would have seen this already somewhere in the extended universe or something.
Yeah, because everybody who thought of it said, well, that wouldn't work. Never mind.
Maybe.
What I did like, I mean, the setting is great. You got this hooded figure in black. He's in looks like a forest with snow. It looked great. And the music cues up. And he stops, and then we think he senses something, and then, does his lightsaber. The sound effects were great, and the visuals of it were great, just like how they kind of changed the way his saber looked.
It looked like it might
great.
It looked like it might have been kind of shoddy too. Like it looked like it was having trouble turning on.
Yeah. But there was almost seems like an aggressiveness about it. Which
Well, anyone who masters the Force is supposed to make their own lightsaber.
Yeah.
And had they left it at that, that would have been awesome. If he just emitted his saber, and then that was it. And then the crossguard comes out, and
It's stupid.
It could go away. Again, it could be just like exhaust in a way, and then it could go back.
It's definitely
it's you know what I'm hoping is that the
it could be
outcry,
a flashback also.
I'm hoping that the outcry from the well-intentioned people.
I think we might be prejudging it a little too hard too, because
Might not
it's
even
very
make the
dark.
movie.
No, it's going to make the movie, but we don't really even see the functionality of that thing very well in the trailer. It's very dark. We get a brief glimpse of what it is, but there's I think we might be fanboy rushing judgment.
Listen, maybe this guy
get excited and we all jump to conclusions.
maybe this guy is a master of Form 42, which is stiff wrist, whatever. That sounded like a Jackie Robinson reference because I said 42.
Something. Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. It struck me. I'm sorry, but Steve.
Bless you.
It struck me immediately as impractical, and it kind of made me laugh.
Yeah,
because I was.
There was
already a lot of people that way.
Yeah, there was already people I've seen actual swordsmiths and stuff posting their alternate designs for the thing that would make more sense. But again, I don't think you can see it well enough to.
Yeah.
I think it's a stupid thing to really care about.
Yeah.
I mean, I thought it was funny, but I like seeing the Millennium Falcon.
Hold on a second. Back to the story. There's this scene. For that scene, there seems to be an air of a flashback, almost like maybe an old Republic. Like maybe he was an old Sith Lord, that they were telling a story about. I don't know why. It didn't, because we have Tatooine heavy,
Here's
and then
a good
he's
game.
In a forest where it's snowing.
Here's a good game.
There's a desert planet and an ice planet.
Yeah.
Sith Lord
This is Star
names.
Wars. We've seen those before.
Sith Lord names, because they're always really goofy. Maybe that was Darth Horrendous, or Darth Baddington,
Darth
or
Medieval.
yeah. I mean, they're always
Darth
they always
Crusade.
have a, it's like Darth Gonorrhea. They always have these stupid names, so maybe that was one of them.
Yeah.
He was famous for cutting off his own hand with his saber, and that's why we have. Maybe there was a flashback.
Maybe
it
that
was
guy already has cut off his hand. Maybe the saber is attached.
Oh God!
to
Can we
his...
not have everyone's hands get cut off in Star Wars? Enough. That was so gross. How overdone that was.
Yeah.
No, but maybe it's Luke explaining to one of his young apprentices at his Jedi Academy, which if they lose the Jedi Academy run by Luke, he'll be very angry.
Yeah.
Maybe they were like, well, Master Luke, why don't we have cross guards? Well, I'll tell you a story. Maybe that's what that was.
Could be.
And it's like a special appearance. Maybe it's Paul Rudd.
Yeah.
Darth Rudd.
No, I don't think so.
No, I don't think so.
No.
So it looks like the stormtroopers have a new look.
Darth Rudd. Yeah, I like the new look actually.
Well, here's the thing. So they're not going with the expanded universe. They're also not going with the pre-expanded universe, the stuff that was originally, this is canon. And then, of course, the other stuff came and they were like, no, this is canon. So it's not Thrawn. There's no Admiral Thrawn, right? What?
Oh, it went off.
What, the computer?
Yeah.
No,
Is that good?
watch this. It's magic.
Okay. Hey,
it's not Admiral Thrawn.
No. That we know. Yeah.
Mara Jade. Anybody?
I don't know. I mean, yeah, everything is so tight.
They're really gonna upset fans if there's no Mara Jade.
Yeah, I was talking about that the other day. How are they going to introduce her at all in the movieverse?
She may already be dead because Luke is that much older at this point.
Yeah, it seems like it's going to be a hard thing to shoot.
For those who don't know, Mara Jade was a Imperial assassin who was hunting Luke in the expanded universe, and then they ended up falling in love, and then she eventually dies, and he goes to the dark side for a little bit.
They have a
because
child
of it.
together.
Yes. Yeah.
And that's another thing too. The children are going to be probably completely different.
Well, there's some speculation also that the young woman we see on the speeder bike is Leia and Han's kid.
She looks a lot like.
There's also the guy in the X-wing apparently is. I think.
Yeah, because in the books, another of Han and Luke's kids, I think it was one of the daughters or one daughter who became one of Rogue Squadron. Maybe her, and then I think two of them went to Rogue Squadron. Leia and Han had 3 kids.
Jason Solo. It's Jason Solo. Is it Anakin Solo? And there's a daughter. There's a sister.
Yeah.
She was the one that went into Rogue Squadron.
Yeah. And then the Skywalker's name was.
They just had the one kid, or
no? They
kids?
had 2 kids. Yeah. Ben Skywalker.
Yeah. Okay.
And it'll be interesting to see what they do. But now all that might be gone. Those kids might not exist.
Yeah.
And I think it's a shame because I didn't like a lot of the expanded universe stuff, and I especially didn't like the when they did the whole arrival of the I can't remember the name, the aliens that were immune to the Force and everything, and that was really done to promote the mini game, the strategy game.
Interesting.
Which was lame. It was sort of the Star Wars universe version of Dungeons and Dragons Edition 4.
Huh.
But no, it's really, or like when D&D did the whole sorcerers instead of wizards on Kryn and all that with Palin, Majir, and I went. Nerds. You know, we need to get a sound bit of Ogre from Revenge of Nerds. But no, I mean, what was I going to say? Yeah, no, I'm excited. I'm really excited.
Yeah, I thought the trailer was actually really good, especially because of how subdued it is.
Yeah.
Because of how subdued it is. Like we have an entire over a year until this movie comes out. This is just
barely over a year. It's Christmas of next year.
Yeah, but this is just.
So the voice in the beginning says
appetite.
"Force Awakens," and John Boyega's character pops up.
Mm-hmm.
Is that a reference to him sensing the Force? Could he be Force sensitive, or?
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
No.
I mean, I don't even know if it's.
Or is he?
People were talking about
Stormtrooper. Is he borrowing?
Or is he just borrowing Stormtrooper, which is done a lot in the Star Wars?
No, you know what? It looked to me a lot like he just crashed.
Yeah, that's what it looked like.
That's what it looked to me. But I mean,
or he might have just woke up too. He just might have woken up in the desert because it looks like he doesn't even know where he is. Kind of.
This is all ridiculous speculation that means nothing.
It really is.
I'm
just excited.
The more important speculation is how they're going to deviate from the stuff the fans want to see.
Yeah.
You know, I know a lot of fans were really pissed when they killed Chewbacca in the extended universe.
Spoiler alert.
Well,
for those who haven't read the books.
Yeah. But
and then the Han got all depressed.
Yeah. Because I remember back when Jedi came out, and about a year later, all the rumors were that Leia and Han. The next movie was Leia and Han's son becomes the new Darth Vader. That was the whole thing. It becomes the new Emperor. Becomes the new. They kind of went in that direction.
They kind of did, yeah.
You know, and everyone, of course, George Lucas was like, "Well, that was never mine." Whatever, dude. We don't care what you have to say because you made this stuff up as you went along, Princess Starkiller.
Yeah.
I don't want to hear it. You know, I don't know. I just.
Have you heard that?
I'm nervous about
when
Abrams.
Disney bought the property that they also gained control over something called the Holocron, which is just like a Bible put together by Lucas and other people of
I didn't know
worlds and characters and stuff like that could exist within the universe. Just story ideas, basically.
Well, it has been confirmed that Lucas has been on, during the process saying, hold on for a moment.
Yes, God.
Okay, apologies. Erroneous pizza delivery.
Doubled up on.
And we didn't get the pizza.
It's those pricks from Two for the Fans sending us fake pizzas.
Where were we?
We were talking about Star Wars and last thing I said, I don't remember because the doorbell went, but I just said I'm worried about Abrams.
Yeah.
Because I feel like, and I don't know how much this had to do with him, but I will say, as a huge Trekkie, and yes, you can be a Star Wars fan and a Trekkie.
Of course.
They're
Yeah,
totally
of course.
different.
I
I
like
hate
both.
people who are like, oh, you can't like the Rolling Stones and the Beatles. You can't like whatever.
I do. I mean,
So,
screw those guys.
I did feel like there were a lot of liberties taken with the Star Trek stuff. I enjoyed it,
Yeah, I thought
but
it was.
I thought the cracks showed upon the second movie.
Yeah.
Where, you know what? I don't want it to be Spock fighting Khan.
The thing with JJ is that JJ is kind of a crowd.
Dynamite.
No, he's a
sorry.
he's a crowd sorcerer. He's you know like he's not really the guy that's doing it. It's his team
Right.
that is really like like JJ is like he's more of a producer.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Well, I'm still nervous.
Yeah.
Because that makes it even worse to me, because then it's not one man's vision.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, we saw what happened last time. It was one man's.
No,
vision.
that was one madman's vision. Okay. No, it's so much better. No, it really isn't, dude. You know, the truth is, if you look, oh God, I can't believe I'm saying this, but you know, if you look at George Lucas's stuff, I mean, he doesn't really have that stellar a track record.
No, not at all.
And I really shouldn't be saying this stuff. It's kind of a bad career move, but you know, I think that the strongest of the movies is Empire.
Oh yeah, by far.
And I think it's pretty much accepted that that's the one he had the least to do with.
Yeah.
So, you know, I mean, what can you say? I'm happy that he's in there, and I was talking about how he is actually sitting there. Oh, you were talking about the holocron. That's what we were talking about.
Yeah.
And he has been there saying, you can do this, you can't do that. He has that power, he doesn't have that power. He's been in that capacity, which is good.
Yeah, that seems like a lot more fitting, probably.
But how much of the bad taste of the prequels can get washed out of our mouths? Now, here's the good thing. They only have to immediately follow Jedi
Yeah.
as far as storyline goes.
Yeah.
Right?
And the other thing, too, is that the bad taste is only in the mouths of our generation. Like, there's a whole swath of Star Wars fans out there that only know the prequels.
That's
for the
sad.
most part.
Yeah.
That's sad.
Yeah.
That's
And
not
a
a
new
good...
generation that will only know the stuff
These,
coming.
yeah.
after
That's
this.
not a good thing.
Yeah.
That's not a good thing, and I'll tell you why. Because if you... Empire Strikes Back is, I think, one of the 25 greatest movies ever made. Okay? It's incredible.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite movies of all.
And it's the darkest one of all of them.
Yes.
Yeah.
And, you know...
It ends on the darkest note. as
Yeah,
well,
of course.
with, like, almost no resolution.
But you know, you have a generation who is going to say, "Oh, that was really cool, substandard garbage," as opposed to what we saw, which was revolutionary to us. I mean,
Yeah.
we were like, "Holy crap!" You know. I remember, 4 years old, coming down for Christmas, and there were Star Wars toys, and I almost pissed myself with excitement.
Yeah.
Nothing else does that. You know, I mean, it was incredible.
Yeah.
So I don't know. The other thing is you have to remember is that in episodes 4, 5, and 6, which are the original movies, much of the prequel content has been forgotten, right?
Yeah.
Only a few people knew about it. Ben knew about it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? A lot of it's been
R2-D2.
Right.
a lot of it's been forgotten. So, for instance, that Darth Vader built C-3PO. Oh Jesus! So a lot of that's been forgotten. So they can kind of just go
Master
with.
Annie.
They can just go with what the three original movies laid out.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know. I kind of I'm going to say something that's really sacrilege, and it's against everything that the Star Wars movies is supposed to be about. I kind of want to see the end of the R2 C-3PO thing.
I wouldn't mind that actually.
I'm kind of done.
Because those are two characters that kind of represent the old thing, and they're probably the two easiest to get rid of because they're
Let's
not
retire.
human characters.
Let's retire those two characters.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, and I listen.
Correct me if I'm wrong.
R2D2,
Do they show up in the books?
of course.
Like way-
R2D2
keep going
is
on in the
Luke.
future?
Yes, R2D2 is
Okay.
Luke's astromech droid,
Okay.
and C-3PO is like basically a nanny with a Bothan to Leia and Han's kids.
Okay. I think I remember it now.
Yeah, but no, let's retire them. I want to see, like, the thing is, I think with these movies you have an opportunity to go, okay, we're barely going to use the original people.
Right.
Yeah.
Let's
change the guard.
But not only that, let's delve into sort of the ancillary characters. Let's have Wedge Antilles' son be an incredible leader of Rogue Squadron.
Right.
You remember Wedge Antilles?
Of course.
Yeah.
Wedge Antilles, great character. He's in all
Red
three.
too.
Yeah, get him in there. Let's do stuff like that. Did you guys notice that Billy D. Williams is not
Oh, really? Yeah,
listed
No, I didn't.
as a member of the cast? That's kind of surprising to me. Now, he could be in there and he just hasn't been confirmed yet. But
Yeah.
I mean, they've
Could be
got
a surprise cameo kind of dealy.
Yeah.
I mean, because he does every one of the damn video games.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
And he, like, voices Lando on, like, Robot Chicken and stuff like that. So.
Yeah, but he's not listed. You know, I think that's kind of odd. I think they're gonna kill Han, like, immediately.
Yeah.
I don't think they got Harrison Ford to commit to doing more than one of these movies. It's gonna suck.
Yeah, that would suck.
You know, can they finally just admit that he's the real hero all along? You know, I mean, it's really him.
Yeah.
He's the guy you care about.
Yeah, he was always my favorite character.
Of course, he's a freaking space pirate, man. And I don't mean Ice Pirates with Robert Urich, which I've mentioned before that we need to talk about more. Now, for anybody who hasn't seen it, they have to watch the George Lucas special edition version spoof parody trailer.
It's really funny.
Very, very funny. Very, very funny. Very, very good. That's my take on it.
Yeah.
L.T.G, your take?
One thing's for sure, from now until next December, we're going to get treated to quite a bit more footage.
Oh, yeah.
And
it's
there'll definitely be at least a final trailer where they reveal Han
and it's also just going to be harder and harder for them to keep.
Oh, that stuff's going to leak.
Keep the secret. Those leaks are going to start happening, and we're going to be able to piece together at least a little bit more. I think that's why
we may get an enemy. We may get a Sith Lord.
Yeah. Speaking of enemies, you guys have been watching Rebels, right?
Yeah.
I've started
the
to.
Inquisitor.
Has the cool
He's awesome,
lightsaber.
and he has. That's what I was bringing it up
sense.
for. Like
I
that
almost brought it up
lightsaber
earlier. Yeah,
is all the different forms it has,
and it
stuff.
spins, and you hold it, and it's not going to cut off your wrist.
Well, those guys are cool.
Yeah,
those creators who make that, like Dave Filoni, and
they're really on their game.
They have access to all,
and that show is just getting better too. The episodes, to me, at least from my opinion, they just keep getting better and better. And
And you saw the Clone Wars,
animation,
of course.
Yeah,
fantastic.
Yeah, no, the Rebel stuff, it's cool. It's cool.
Yeah.
I just,
and we're gonna get a wave of Star Wars stuff.
They need some the Star Wars franchise, the Star Wars property needs some editorial oversight, and we need to decide what's canon and what isn't.
Yeah. And it just needs something to get, like you said, or that taste out of it. It needs an injection of something.
Here's an idea.
At least, especially because Disney owns it now. I'm sure they know that. They want this property to be what it should be.
I think they want to do with it what they're doing with the Marvel stuff, which is get the right people and do it right. And, if you can just wipe away the past and say that anything isn't canon, can we say that Phantom Menace...
Yeah, especially Phantom Menace.
And Revenge of the Sith and Attack of the Clones, can we say those are no longer canon?
Yes.
Because it
was just a fever dream.
Fans have spoken, and we no longer admit that that's canon.
It's true though. Annie he would never kill younglings.
I think if we want to, it would be cool is just use the Clone Wars animations and start from there, and then go forward with canon in the movies.
That's also always been one of the things I hated most about the prequels, was that the Clone Wars begins at the end of Episode 2, and then at the beginning of Episode 3, it's already at the end of the Clone Wars. Right. Yeah. It's like we were waiting for like decades, literally decades, to see
movies.
the damn Clone Wars. And you literally gave us blue balls on that one, George Lucas. So.
Have you guys ever seen? What was the name of the kid that played baby Anakin? Luke.
Jake.
Jake Lloyd.
Yeah.
Have you guys ever seen on YouTube like anybody try to interview him and he flips out?
No. Oh boy.
He effing hates Star Wars. And if you look it up, and I encourage people to do it, look it up. He gets asked questions and he just flips out. Like, I don't want to talk about it. Like, it's great. It's great, and yes, he did age like a child actor.
Yeah.
Strikingly. I'm not trying to say anything bad. His name is Anakin, and he's a human
But
being.
have they been better off just waiting and using him rather than Hayden Christensen?
Yes.
Oh.
Yes. You know, Hayden Christensen. Okay, so like, you know, is he the poor man's James Franco?
I mean,
No.
I don't know if he's
Okay, so
I think he's the poor man's Hayden Christensen.
oh, that poor kid. You know, I actually saw him in a movie he was quite good in, Factory Girl. I don't know if you ever saw that.
Yeah.
He was actually very good in that, playing a Dylan-esque character if it wasn't actually Dylan himself.
Yeah.
But yeah, a poor guy. I mean, that was an uphill battle from the start. How can you? You're never going to satisfy anybody.
Yeah.
Just, you know, he could have tried acting. That would have helped. But he would never kill younglings.
That's tough.
So
Well, yeah.
I think we're
More
good.
to see. A lot more to come.
Let's next week when we talk about the big shows, we'll also talk about Hobbit a little bit. You mentioned that.
Yeah, well, and people want to hear us talk about you know, other things
stuff.
that, like D&D and things like that.
And we
The Hobbit is coming out, so
with
we
the
should
shows
talk about
taking
it.
big breaks. We're definitely
Yeah, we've got
getting
to.
into a lot of other fun stuff. So
And I mean, there's other stuff that's, you know, fan driven. That's really that kind of stuff that's out there. I mean, you're obviously a big fan of Grimm. You know?
Not really. No, I watch a lot of TV though. So
Okay.
it's like,
Oh, not Grimm. Supernatural
No,
is
yeah.
one you're a big fan.
No. I mean, again, just a
Okay.
show I watch. Not
Okay.
really a big fan.
Okay.
Of it.
Well, then never mind. I
Yeah.
take that all back. No, I mean, but we should have a discussion at some point about Game of Thrones, and we should have a
Yeah.
discussion
Sure, I'd love
about Sleeping Dead. What's it called? Snoring
Walking
Dead.
Dead, Snoring,
Yeah, sorry. Sleepwalking Dead, and we should talk about those things, and we should also try to find out what's going on with Preacher.
Yeah.
Oh,
And The Boys. The Boys was
Yeah.
another thing they were going to do,
Yeah.
and we haven't
HBO
heard much
series.
about
Oh,
that.
and Sharon Carter's coming. So
Yes.
Agent Carter. I'm excited about that.
Yes.
not Sharon Carter.
Sharon
Peggy
Carter
Carter.
is Agent
Peggy
13
Carter, yeah.
from Winter Soldier.
We know who you mean.
Yeah.
Well,
Yep. Thanks for joining us, I guess.
Oh yeah, did you guys see the teasers that they did for the show?
Watch out, watch
the
out, watch
Peggy.
out.
Or yeah.
We'll talk about
Yeah.
that.
sometimes the best
man for the job
is also a woman, or is a woman that thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not a lot shown, but yeah, they showed a scene too with Jarvis, with
Oh yeah,
Howard
yeah,
Stark
yeah.
and
Yeah.
Jarvis.
That's
Yeah.
cool.
But yeah,
It'll be cool.
I can't wait.
It'll be cool. Well, I think the one thing real quick that I'm looking forward to about that show is like old timey tech gadgets.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
gonna be cool.
Yeah.
And it looks like the filters they're using make it look kind of
Yeah.
like old school.
Nah, it's gonna be
like
it's
film
gonna be
stock
dope.
stuff.
And there's gonna be a lot of revelations that
fold into the
yeah.
end of this.
the shows
This
and the
season.
movies.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna be cool. All right, I'm L.T.G.
I'm Justin Peterson.
B-Train.
And I'm Justin Lane.
See you guys next week.